Can't believe it's here already, but it is Heart Month. It's February already. Time just flies. And Dr. Stacy Davis, you've been so kind to come here every year to talk about heart disease on the program, sometimes a couple times a year. Good to have you back.
Thank you for inviting me again. It's always great to be here.
Yeah, we know there are a range of conditions that affect the heart that make up heart disease. There's so many different things that can go wrong. What are the most prevalent, the most common conditions that lead to heart disease or that cause heart disease?
The most common conditions that lead to heart disease are simple ones that we're all familiar with: high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol. And we can't forget about the fact that we can inherit a tendency toward blocks in our arteries, so a family history of heart disease.
Let's talk about the American Heart Association and any kind of advances that they've made with heart health and how you support their efforts at St. Thomas Medical Partners.
Well, as you know, February is Heart Month, and this is the month that the American Heart Association, that St. Thomas Medical Partners, that everyone in Tennessee needs to put heart health at the forefront of your interest. And what we need to remember is that 1 in 2.5 women will die of heart disease. Yes, breast cancer is huge and it takes a lot of lives, but more women die of heart disease than breast cancer. And so we can do a lot to save lives by identifying heart disease early, identifying the risk factors that cause it, and then preventing them from developing to the point that heart disease happens.
Let's go over those things. And for some people, this may be a review, but it's important to review it again. Risk factors.
Risk factors for blocks in your artery or heart disease in general are high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, a sedentary lifestyle where you don't get exercise, being overweight, a family history of early heart disease, and if I didn't say this, high cholesterol.
Signs and symptoms that you may be in the middle of a heart attack. It's not always obvious, especially for women. It's not always the crushing chest pain. We know that.
Right. So not everyone gets the crushing chest pain, the Hollywood heart attack. Some people have progressive shortness of breath with activity. For example, say you can normally walk through the grocery store without any shortness of breath, and now you can't get to the produce aisle at the back of the store without shortness of breath. That's a change in your exercise tolerance. Or if you live on an apartment in the 2nd floor, and normally you can get up that stairway without shortness of breath or dizziness or lightheadedness, and now you can't make it halfway up. Swelling in your feet or ankles, or instead of chest pressure or pain, some people have left-sided arm heaviness or jaw pain.
If you do experience some of that pain, I know I had some shoulder pain recently and I started to panic remembering all the stories I've done on heart disease in the past, thinking, oh my God, are my palms sweaty? Are there other symptoms that will accompany that pain? Because it could be from exercise too.
Sure.
So how do you know?
Sure, exactly. Well, first of all, think about it for a moment and say, did I do some heavy lifting? Was I cleaning out my attic yesterday?
Right.
And if the answer is yes, I did a lot of heavy lifting, well, if it doesn't go away within a matter of an hour or two, or with rest, you ought to get attention. And there's nothing wrong if you're really not feeling well with going to the emergency department. We would rather have you show up and be evaluated. The job of the emergency department is to evaluate you and determine at what level of risk you are. People come in all the time and they say, oh, I'm so sorry to be here. I know you have people dying and I hate to be here. And we're like, no, that's what we're here for. We are here to make sure that nothing bad is going on, and if it is, to treat it right away.
If you are one of those people with high cholesterol, you had said before we started today that there is a new class of drugs for people who can't take the statins.
That is correct. So there are a lot of people who say, I've tried 3 different statins and none of them work for me. I can't take them. They cause my muscles to ache. I can't walk or exercise then like my doctor asked me. There's a new class. There are 2 example medicines out there, and they're called PCSK9 inhibitors. And the right way to take them is as an injection, because they're not a pill. And you take them as a self-administered injection once or twice a month. You don't have to take a pill every day. And then they have a tremendous impact on lowering your cholesterol. So don't give up if you're one of those people who's done everything they can to do to lower their cholesterol with diet, is exercising, and just can't take a statin. Talk to your doctor and say, I heard about these new medicines. Is that right for me?
Okay, all right, that's terrific, that new information. Now, if you just manage existing health conditions and maybe just tackle a few changes, right? Because it seems so overwhelming to just eliminate everything bad. And you know, you can't start running immediately. A lot of people can't, or working in a lot of exercise.
Right.
So baby steps? Baby steps,
absolutely. Change one thing at a time. Choose one thing you want to adjust. For example, I know a cardiologist who needed to lose weight, and he wasn't going to be able to start running right away, and he had a busy schedule. So what he started doing was walking every day, parked the car a little bit further. On weekends, walked, and it worked. And anyone can walk. And you might say to me, oh, but I'm so tired and walking is hard. Do you go grocery shopping? Spend a little extra time in the grocery store, going through the aisles with that grocery cart in front of you, or do it at your favorite big box store. If you're a guy and you like to go shopping at big hardware stores,
I like that, that's great.
Then go up and down the aisle with that cart. And those places are awfully large. You'll find lots of tools to buy, and you'll get your exercise.
Yes, that'll raise the endorphins too, finding that perfect tool, right?
That's right.
All right, thank you so much. I'm very excited about the new inhibitors, that new class of drugs too, for people who can't take statins. Thank you so much, Dr. Davis.
You're welcome, my pleasure.
Appreciate you coming in. Happy Heart Month.
Happy Heart Month to everyone.
Yes, and we'll be back with more after this.